Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for waiting. Happy Sunday to you all. Excuse me. And welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary live stream. We're here on a Sunday morning, November 26th, and the Vancouver Canucks. We ended. I'm going to turn this light off. It looks too bright here. There. Snapped our 8-game losing streak yesterday with a 4-2 victory. Oh, that's worse too. So much blur here. Okay, let's go with that. I guess there's not much we can do. Yeah, let's do that. All right. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for waiting. Let's talk about last night's game. Vancouver Canucks, they win 4-2. They beat the LA Kings with Willie Desjardins behind the LA Kings bench. Maybe the best tonic for the Vancouver Canucks as they indeed snapped their 8-game losing streak with a very impressive win. A lot of impressive things that happened in last night's game, including Adam Gaudette's first NHL goal, Sam Gagner's first goal of the season, Elias Pettersson with a goal and an assist, and a strong performance by Jacob Markstrom, strong performance by Jake Virtanen. Actually, Alex Edler has returned the lineup, so we got a lot of things that we can talk about right now. So maybe leave a comment just so I can know that you guys can hear me okay. I'm trying yet a third setup this time. This time I'm just going right off my iPhone. Actually, I like the picture a little better, but so maybe just, hey Justin, welcome. Maybe just leave a quick comment letting me know that you can hear me okay, just so I know that, yeah, that you guys can indeed hear me. Otherwise, I'll just be staring at my face for the next half an hour, but I wouldn't want to wish that on anyone. So hi, Justin, how are you? Someone else leave a comment real quick. Okay, sounds good, awesome, good. I know there's a little bit of a foggy haze coming from my right shoulder, but can't do anything. It's the mixture of the light and the blinds outside. Okay, Arjun, redemption, yes, it was I don't know if you're talking about beating the Kings in particular or likely beating Willie Desjardins. So let's talk about last night's game. Kind of a sleepy first period, as I think both teams, as mentioned on the broadcast, very slow, methodical pace, playing strong defense. Obviously, no one wanted to get beat or get burned. So very conservative style for the first period. And then first period, I think the Kings dominated the Vancouver Canucks in the face-off circle, whatever it may be. And the second period was exciting because we saw 4 goals, 2 from each team. And let's talk about the 2 Vancouver goals. Actually, we can talk about all 4 last night. So the 2 Canucks goals were nice. The first one was obviously the power play goal. No, sorry, it was Adam Gaudette's goal. I should get this right. So Adam Gaudette started the scoring off. Wonderful play actually by Goudobin on the corner. And let's give full props to Jake Virtanen for his pass. He grabbed the puck from Goudobin, and he says that he heard Gaudette screaming at him from the slot. And Virtanen with a really good slap pass, actually. And I've said in a couple of comments before, you guys know I love Virtanen. I love his combination of speed and size, and I think his skill's okay. His hands are okay. But, you know, I sometimes question his hockey IQ, or sometimes, you know, a lot of plays die on his stick, but not so much yesterday. Beautiful pass across the crease to Gaudette, who puts home his first NHL goal. Nice scene where Virtanen trying to fish the puck out of the net for Gaudette, and he eventually did it and got it to him. So that was the first Canucks goal. Then Drew Doughty ties it up on the power play, and really, Canucks penalty kill hasn't been great the last few games. Obviously they missed guys like Sutter and Beagle. Granlund got a lot of power play time yesterday. Schaller a little bit. Let's see, I'm just looking at the time on ice yesterday. Yeah, of the forwards, sorry, it's Roussel and Granlund that got a lot of the penalty kill time. And then Horvat got a little bit, Mott got a little bit. But yes, it was Granlund and Roussel who got almost all of it. And that was a tough one. You know, the Kings made a good play. They moved the puck around the point real quick, and Doughty scored. Then we get to Sam Gagner's power play goal. Really nice. It looks like Gagner may be a nice little pickup for the Canucks when it comes to their power play. You know, a couple things. Obviously, they took Pouliot off last week, put Hutton on. Hutton to Pettersson, a couple goals in consecutive games. Now Edler joins the power play last night. A really nice tic-tac-toe. Pettersson on the wall, down to Horvat beside the net, up to Gagner, quick release, 2-1. Then the Kings tied it up with their long stretch pass to their rookie. And I watched that a couple times to see the breakdown. And it was actually Granlund or someone that lost it on the boards. Then Tanev did a pinch, and then they got the puck and passed it out to him for the really nice deke, actually. That was a really nice goal. I'm sorry to say, but it was true. It was a very nice goal by the Kings forward. And then, of course, the game winner from Elias Pettersson. Dion Phaneuf gives the perfect pass up the middle to our guy. Pettersson reads it coming off the bench and wires it past Pettersson. I'll tell you a very quick funny story about Pettersson and Pettersson in a couple minutes. And then Tyler Mott with his wonderful effort. And I got to say, when the Canucks were killing that power play, when they were down a man, but up a goal with 2 minutes left, Del Zotto and Tanev were out there for the first 90 seconds, and they played that penalty kill really well. A couple good chances for the Kings, but the Canucks played that extremely well, especially Del Zotto and Tanev. So full props to them. 90 seconds, the first 1.5 minutes of that power play before, Del Zotto made a nice play in the corner, and Mott did a really good play, stripping Kopitar of the puck and then shooting it in the empty net. Finally, sealing the win, 4-2, and the Canucks end their 8-game losing slide. I thought Alex Edler played pretty well. Travis Green sheltered him a little bit. When I say sheltered him in terms of minutes, Hutton and Goodbranson got 23 minutes. Del Zotto and Tanev got 20 minutes. And then basically playing on the third pair, Edler and Biega got 16 minutes or 17 minutes. So pretty well spread out amongst the 6 defensemen. And Edler, I thought, played really well. He looked pretty confident. Took 2 penalties that I didn't really like. One was an interference one. One was a delayed game where he smoked the puck over the end boards. Or sorry, not over the end boards. That would be really good. Over the sideboards with his glove. Maybe both of those things were related to rust or whatever. But it was good to have, obviously, Edler back. And with Edler back and with Biega playing, that means Troy Stetcher and Derek Pouliot were the healthy scratches up on the blue line. Pouliot, no surprise given his struggles recently, but some people were surprised by Troy Stetcher's benching or scratch, so to speak. So let's hope there's no story there. Maybe it was just a chance to rest him in back-to-back games, and maybe that's the end of story. I sure hope so, because Stetcher's obviously a good defenseman and a big part of the Canucks' plans, I think. Okay. So I'm going to talk about Pettersson. I want to go through a couple of there's a few comments in here. I really appreciate everyone joining me, especially on a Sunday. You could be doing anything else, but we'll go for about half an hour here. So Arjun, redemption, yes. Justin, Patrick Laine, putting his name on the Richard Trophy. Yeah, 5 goals yesterday against St. Louis. 5 goals on 5 shots. So I'm not the best at math, but that tells me that's a 100 or 1,000 shooting percentage, however you want to say it. 100%. That's pretty efficient. Laine looks really good, and we saw him. He looked really good against the Canucks, scoring 2 goals in that game last week against the Jets. And yeah, I believe he has 19 goals now in the season, taking the lead in the goal-scoring race. And he's had 2 hat tricks and last night's 5-goal game in November. So that's already 11 of his 19 goals coming from just 3 games. Pretty amazing. And I believe he only had 3 goals in October. So doing the math, 3 goals in October, 16 goals in November. Really good start for Laine. Patrick, what's your updated Pettersson point totals? I think Pettersson ends with about 72 points. Yeah, Pettersson right now, he has 21 points in his 20... No, he doesn't have 20 games. What am I talking about? Pettersson only has, 21 points in 20 games. So even if he played every single game, he would max at 76 games, and hopefully he does play after being chokeslammed by Matheson. So Pettersson can play up to 76 games. If he's at a point per game pace, which he is right now, 21 and 20, then Logic says he'll finish somewhere between 70 and 80. If I want to narrow it down, maybe I'm going to go with 75 points. Justin, you said 72. I think that's a very good guess. At the start of the season, you guys remember, I've talked about this a couple times. I actually predicted 55 to 60 points for Pettersson. I said he would have the same amount of points as Besser did last year, but in more games. But I think I went the wrong way. It might be more points than Besser in more games as well. So point per game, 21 in 20. I'm going to say 70. He gets 75 to 80 points in hopefully 75 or 76 games. Fagoof, yeah. Arjun, that was, Phaneuf was all over the place. And Virtanen had some really nice post-game comments about how him and Phaneuf played very hard against each other. I don't think there's any hate there. I think they're just 2 big guys that like to play. Phaneuf, the grizzled veteran, against Virtanen, the relatively still young hotshot player. And yeah, Phaneuf put Virtanen down early in the game, which was good. But Virtanen came back in and put Phaneuf on his butt while Virtanen had the puck, which was very impressive. So to not only explode through the check while you have control of the puck, that was very impressive. And I did 2 memes last night, both on Phaneuf. I caught him wiping his face coming out of a commercial break. He looked kind of goofy. And it got some play on Canucks Army and over on Twitter last night. Basically, so it's Phaneuf making this goofy face. And the first one is a TFW, that feel when you get trucked by Jake Virtanen, or I think I said something like that, or you get hit by Jake Virtanen or run over by Jake Virtanen. And then when Phaneuf gave that beautiful pass to Elias Pettersson in the 3rd period, I put TFW, that feel when you give a great pass to Elias Pettersson or something like that. So kind of cool from a standpoint of a very, very funny picture. And I'm not definitely a meme generator or meme master, but I thought yesterday was an easy one. Maybe 30 goals. Yeah, Arjen Pettersson's at 13 goals in 20 games. So you extrapolate that, if, you know, it's basically, if he plays, yeah, he could get easily 30, maybe even 35 at this point. Maybe, you know, if I'm saying 75 points, and right now he has 5 more goals and assists, he's 13 and 8. So maybe that's, imagine a 40 goal, 35 assist season. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. And the cool thing is, and I'll mention this a few times in the next couple of weeks, because I think it's a really important point. The Canucks have 10 of their next 13 games at home. Again, that's 10 of their next 13. We know the majority of their 26 games so far have been on the road, but now they're going to catch up a little bit, even that out. So they have 5 games at home, then they go away for 3, and they have another 5 games over the Christmas break. So again, 10 of the next 13, that's huge. The Canucks can make some major progress in the standings with that. And of the next 5, I'm going to 3 of the next 5, which is cool. I'm not going to LA on Tuesday night, but I am going to the Vegas Golden Knights game on Thursday. Then I'm going to the Dallas Stars game on Saturday. Not going to, I think it's Minnesota after that, and then I will be going to see Nashville. So I see 3 of the next 5, which I'm very excited about. When will Besser be back? Yeah, Rick Dhaliwal of Sportsnet 650 tweeted this morning that he talked to a Canucks source and that Besser's improving, and there's a good chance that he'll play as early as next week. So next week, whatever that means, is it early next week? Is it Tuesday against LA? Is it Thursday against Vegas? Or is it Saturday against the Dallas Stars? We shall see, but I think everyone, especially Elias Pettersson, will be happy when Besser gets back. And you know, we don't use injuries as an excuse. There are other teams that are beat up like the Canucks, but come on, we were missing our D-men for a while. We were missing our 2 top wingers in Besser and Berchi. We were missing our 3rd and 4th centers in Sutter and Beagle, and of course our backup goalie in Nilsson. So Nilsson's back, Edler's back. That's 2 of the 6. Looks like Berchi's going to be a long while, unfortunately. Concussion, Sutter and Beagle sometime in December, and maybe Besser as early as the end of next week, which would be awesome. Justin, do you have an updated opinion on my Penguins? That's a fair point, Justin. Maybe Justin, put your YouTube channel down below. I can't remember exactly the actual name, but Justin does a great channel, great YouTube channel, and he's very Penguin centric because he's from Pittsburgh, or he's living in Pittsburgh. I'm looking up the standings right now. So Pittsburgh is 9-8-5, 23 points in 22 games. So actually, they're only 3 points out of a playoff spot. They're in 6th in the Metropolitan, very weak Metropolitan division. I've already said that Metropolitan and Pacific are the 2 weakest divisions. Central and Atlantic are very strong, at least so far. So my updated opinion is, you know, I think with Crosby coming back and, you know, the small trade, Pearson for Hagelin. Not sure if you're happy about that, Justin, but I always think the Penguins will be around sometime. They'll always be hanging around, and it's still early. The fact that they're in a weak division, kind of like they're almost in the same position as the Canucks, although a little bit more skilled than the Canucks for now. But I think the fact that they're, you know, 5th or 6th in the division, yet only a couple games out of a playoff spot, yet it's a weak division. I could see the Penguins still making a run for a playoff spot, and I think they have the experience and the wherewithal to do it. My dog Mickey is barking. Let me just see what he wants. Mickey, what do you want? You want to come say hi? Just me and Mickey. My wife Gail and the kids are at church. I went yesterday already, but here is Mickey. Mickey, say hi. Mickey, you want to say hi? I know it's kind of weird. Say hi, Mickey. Say hi. Hi, internet. All right, I can put you down. I can put you down. What are you barking at? You bark again, I'll put you wherever you want to go. Okay, 21 points. Mac Potter. Yes, that was Pettersson. Yeah, 21 points in 20 games. Thank you. Justin, 25 goals and 47 assists for Pettersson projection. I think that's fair. That adds up to 72. So, Justin, good math. If the team sees him as a goal scorer, they'll start taking away shooting lanes. That'll force him to look past. Yes, Justin, I think definitely as teams, and we see it a bit on the road trip when the home team, opposing team can set their matchups. Pettersson was shut down for a few games on the road trip. But I also think on the flip side, when Besser comes back, especially on the power play, even strength for sure, but especially on the power play, once Besser gets in the groove again, you have two really strong options on either wing, and maybe Pettersson starts to pile up more points on the power play now that Edler's back and now that Besser's coming back. But yes, I agree that opposing teams, much like they did to Besser last year, will start to get a read on this guy. Mac, December is next week. Oh yeah, so good point. So let's say Sutter and Beagle are not next week, but still in December, maybe second or third week. How about that? And then of course, yeah, I guess if Besser comes back on December 1st, which is still next week, that is December. So let's put it this way. Besser will come back hopefully in the next week or week and a half, and then Sutter Beagle later in December. How's that? Is that better, Mac? I think that's okay. Justin, yeah, Yinzer on hockey. So make sure you follow him, subscribe to Justin's channel, does some really good content, not just on the Pittsburgh Penguins, but on the NHL overall. I love that trade. I love that trade. He can finish shots, 3 goals in 4 games. Yes, Tanner Pearson has been good ever since going from the Kings to the Penguins. Okay, last time, I think Mickey wants to get up on the couch here. What do you want? You want to go up there? Okay, here. Here's all your stuff. Okay, that makes for some really good live streaming, I know. But that's what happens when there's no one else to take care of Mickey. Okay, Mickey, just stay there. You okay? All right. Tanner, it was interesting. I remember when it was Tanner Pearson, Tyler Toffoli, and Lyndon Vey were the rage in LA. Of course, Lyndon Vey tried a couple stints with Vancouver, not so good. Toffoli still a consistent player for the Kings. I've always liked him. And then Pearson, of course, now in Pittsburgh. All right, Clay, there's Alex. Clay, is there a chance you could take to the Vegas game, please? Also, the Sabres were rebuilding, and they made some good trades, getting Jeff Skinner. Can I actually copy the Sabres rebuild? Alex, thank you. Alexander, I will talk to you offline. I don't want to negotiate games on YouTube. I will message you, but I have people already lined up for those games. Mostly it's family. When you have a wife and kids, they usually get first dibs on the games, but we will talk offline about a chance to go to a game together. How's that? Okay. For the second part of your comment, the Sabres were rebuilding. They make good trades getting Jeff Skinner. Yeah, so you can rebuild on the fly for sure, and you don't have to not make trades during a rebuild. And the example I used was San Jose actually a couple days ago. San Jose, I think, come down, Mickey. San Jose. Okay, that's it. You gotta stay down now. San Jose, I know this makes for really good YouTube. San Jose, 4 or 5 years ago, I think people were thinking they're gonna have a tough time rebuilding because they have less money locked up in these old players like Patrick Marleau, like Joe Thornton, like Joe Pavelski, whoever it may be. But they've done a great job of rebuilding on the fly. They've made trades for guys like Kane, and they brought Erik Karlsson, obviously a trade for him as well. So Evander Kane and Erik Karlsson. And then they've also, they got rid of Patrick Marleau, but they still have Thornton and Pavelski who are still playing roles, limited roles, but still playing roles on the team. And then they have all these young guys that are coming up. The guys, actually Thomas Hertl, he's only 25. And you have guys like LeBlanc and you guys, and Timo Meyer, of course, doing very well as a 22-year-old. So the San Jose Sharks have a really good mix of young players, middle-aged players, mid-20s to late 20s, and of course the older veterans. And of course, Karlsson and Burns, you can't go wrong with them on the blue line. So yes, I agree that you can rebuild through a trade, but the Canucks simply haven't been that lucky or that fortunate, or maybe they haven't had the willing trade partners in the past few years. All right, Mickey, you're going up, you're staying up there. All right, let's get back to these. Sabres on the top spot in the NHL. Yes, the Sabres have been very impressive, Alexander, and yeah, to no surprise, I mean, to many people's surprise, but no surprise that players are starting to develop. Like Jack Eichel is a very strong player. You know, he kind of gets overshadowed by the whole Connor McDavid thing, but Jack Eichel is a very strong player. Rasmus Dahlin, Jeff Skinner, a lot of good pieces there. Let's keep going. Where are you going to sit in the Dallas game on Saturday? Arjun, that's a good question because I'm not using my own tickets. Actually, that's another good point. For some of these games, I'm going as guests of other people, which I'm very grateful for. And Saturday, my good friend Marie Huey, the one that I do all my parody songs with, she's singing the anthems, and I'm going as her guest. So we get the anthem singer seats. What do you mean we? I have nothing to do with it. Marie gets the anthem singer seats, and I'll be going as her guest, and that is kind of cool. Actually, that's kind of cool day for me. That night, I'm going to see this band called Postmodern Jukebox. I don't know if any of you guys watch those guys on YouTube, but they do a lot of jazz, big band, you know, kind of funky kind of versions of modern songs. So anyways, that's my Saturday. You guys don't care about my whole social life. But on Saturday, I'll be sitting in the lower bowl wherever Marie gets her tickets. I'm very blessed to be going with her. Ryan, good morning. Clay, good morning. Justin, rebuilds are easier with great goaltending. I'll get to that. Yes, rebuilds are definitely, I could go on forever this. Remember, the Canucks had, back in 2011, 12, 13, they had a combination of Roberto Luongo and Corey Schneider. That's pretty good. Until Schneider got traded for Bo Horvat, or for the 9th pick, which turned out to be Bo Horvat, which I don't think any Canucks fans are complaining about now, given Schneider's recent, injury problems and inconsistency, and how Bo Horvat is continuing to progress. But at the time, we had the best goaltending combo, maybe us and Boston at the time, a combination of Thomas and Rask. But we had Luongo and Schneider to their Thomas and Rask. Then, of course, since then, Schneider's gone, Luongo's gone. It's been Ryan Miller, Jacob Markstrom, Anders Nielsen. And then maybe 2 or 3 years down the road, it will be a combination of Thatcher Demko and Mike DiPietro, but we got to get there first. At least Demko's playing after his concussion, thank goodness. But yes, you need good goaltending, especially behind sometimes an inconsistent defense like the Canucks have. And maybe we are not going to get there for a while, but hopefully sooner as opposed to later. Clay versus Dog. Dog is winning. Yeah, it's funny. I don't know if you out there have pets, especially dogs, but they have a funny way of taking over your life in a good way. We wouldn't want to have it any other way, but I see him now. He's kind of chilling on the couch. So actually, I'll show you real quick. There he is. So there's Mickey kind of just chilling. I think he's calm now. Maybe just wanted to get our attention. But yeah, there's Mickey just chilling on the couch. So hopefully it'll be fine for these last 10 or 12 minutes. Here we go. Should Vancouver trade Demko while value is still high? No, Arjun, I don't think they should trade Demko. I really think, and you could argue how high is his value really, given that he just started playing again. I know, I have it on good authority, I heard from firsthand that the Canucks, at least last season, were very high on Thatcher Demko. In fact, they were using terms like he will be our next Roberto Luongo, and I heard that. And I don't think that's changed, but we just got to get him playing. So no, I would not think of trading Demko. Justin, you're no way. That probably has to do with Demko, I presume, as opposed to the Dog, but we'll see. Ryan, what are your thoughts on Laine getting 5 goals? Yeah, I talked about that earlier, just before you got on here, Ryan, I believe. And yeah, he's heating up, obviously, 19 goals, leading the league, and maybe winning the Rocket Richard trophy. And I love everything about Laine's game. He's not the fastest skater ever, but he certainly can move. He's a big guy, got a wonderful release, and obviously really, really good hands, and knows how to score, whether it's on rushes, one-timers, wrist shot, snap shot, slap shot, one-timer, like I said, one-timer twice, power play, whatever it may be. No, I really like Laine's game, and I think much like kind of Jack Eichel's being overshadowed by Connor McDavid. You remember Patrick Laine was drafted the same year as Austin Matthews, and just as good of a player, I think. So it's pretty exciting. I hope the Penguins give consideration to trading Murray. Yeah, Justin, that's interesting. Who's DeSmith is the backup, right? And is he good enough to play? Or obviously, if they're going to trade Murray, who will they get back for him? Yeah, that's an interesting point. Arjun, can Pettersson win the Lady Byng? Oh, that's a good question. As a rookie, no. I can't really picture them giving the Lady Byng to a rookie, but maybe someone else can tell me who the recent Lady Byng's winner. I don't know the off the top of my head, but I could see him getting a Lady Byng in his career, certainly, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen this year. I want him to win the Calder, but Lady Byng, I think he's got a lot of time for that, but we shall see. Yes, I was referring to Demko. I would never trade him. Justin, I agree with you. Adam Gaudette finally getting his first NHL goal. Thoughts? Ryan, you got to show up, man, at the start of these things. I talked about that as well. Yeah, very happy for Gaudette. He was a good, prolific goal scorer in college. He won the Hobey Baker Award for Best College Player. So right now, the Canucks, though, have been playing him in the bottom 6, right? With no Sutter, with no Beagle. He's played as the 3rd or 4th line center. We see he can skate. We see he's got good hands. He's got an eye for that. He's not afraid to shoot. He just hasn't had a lot of puck luck. But maybe it's one of those where last night's goal will give him some confidence, and maybe we see a bit of an explosion for him, or a few goals in a row here. And look for it when Sutter and Beagle get back sometime in December. I'll be very excited to see maybe Adam Gaudette get a chance to play as a top 6 winger, especially if Sven Baertschi's out. Maybe your top 6 becomes maybe Horvat, Pettersson, Besser, Goudobin, and then maybe it is indeed Horvat, Pettersson, Besser, Goudobin, and maybe you go Virtanen and Gaudette in your top 6 while Baertschi's out. Then you don't have Eriksson in there, but we'll see about that. You know, Sam Gagner's in the mix too. But yes, I definitely think that last night's goal, nice shot off a beautiful pass from Virtanen, good work on the boards by Goudette. So maybe that's a future line down the road. But yeah, I think Gaudette will get a lot of confidence from last night's goal, and maybe the Canucks will start to use him even more. He only played 10 minutes last night, so obviously he's still trying to earn Travis Green's confidence. Speaking of people who haven't earned Travis Green's confidence, Brendan Leipsic, I think he only had 7 or 8 minutes. He's been a healthy scratch in and out of the lineup, so I don't think Leipzig's going to be around for long, especially, we know Darren Archibald got put on waivers this morning. Leipzig's going to be probably next to go once Sutter, Beagle, Berchi all get back, but we will see what happens. Let's see, Justin, we have DeSmith and Jerry, both very capable. Okay, that's good. Lady Bing is generally for the least penalized player. Yeah, I don't know if they go by the actual stat of the least penalty minutes, or obviously they go by sportsmanship and gentlemanship, or if that's even a word. Pettersson right now in 20 games has a grand total of 6 penalty minutes, but there are guys actually that have less penalty minutes than him. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's easy to say. I mean, it's hard to say. But thank you for that clarification. Ryan, I'm sorry, I just woke up. I'm just bugging you, man. You don't have to never apologize. Just come in whenever you want. I'm happy to repeat myself, or even better yet, you can go back and watch this chat if you want. But I did speak about Gaudette and about Laine right off the top, but thank you. Alexander, do you think the Canucks should trade for one of the Pittsburgh goalies? Alexander, you should talk to Justin about that. No, I don't see them bringing in someone like Murray. I never thought about that, actually. I don't think, no. Right now, I don't think they would trade for a Pittsburgh goalie for any goalie. I think they are still confident in Markstrom and Nilsson. Remember, Nilsson's contract ends at the end of the season. Markstrom's only got 1 more year. So I do see, despite me making that video about the Canucks maybe signing Sergei Bobrovsky to a free agent contract, an idea a lot of people poo-pooing on. Just an idea, and it's not my idea. I've heard it in the media. I see the Canucks riding it out with Markstrom and Nilsson, maybe bring Demko up later in the year for a look, especially when those 2 goalies are not playing well or not hurt. And then I see them going with Markstrom and Demko next season, but only time will tell. Idris, I'm happy Derek Pouliot has gone and Biega. I like Biega a lot more. Yeah, I've talked about Biega. Biega his mistakes aren't as magnified as Pouliot's mistakes. Biega is good about playing the puck up the boards, about trying to skate the puck out of trouble as opposed to turning it over, making stupid passes. But we'll see the Pouliot scratch. It's just a 1-game thing. Now that Edler's back, I actually would have thought that Pouliot would have been scratched in favor for Edler, not Pouliot and Stetcher for Edler and Biega. But maybe the Stetcher was just a 1-game scratch, and I hope, no, I shouldn't say that, but perhaps Pouliot's is going to be longer than that. Because right now, when you're fully healthy, I think you got to go Edler, Tanev, you got to go Goodbranson and Hutton, who've been playing quite well. Actually, they played very well, then they had a bit of a dip on the road trip, and now they're playing well again. You know, a lot of minutes last night. And then that leaves you with Stetcher and Delzato, which is fine with me too. So that would be my top 6 right now. Basically the same as the start of the year, but Delzato playing instead of Pouliot, then Pouliot and Biega as the extras. Where do we put Gaudette for the future, Arjun? Yeah, you might have been typing that as I mentioned that. He could be a center, especially if Sutter moves on. I don't know who moves on though, because Beagle signed a 4-year contract. Maybe they see him as a winger, either a 2nd or 3rd line winger. Who knows? He's got the skill and he's got the shot for sure. How impressed with you, Gaudette, playing at bottom, line 6 forwards, and still putting out good numbers defensively? Yeah, real Nimrod, nice name. I was actually impressed with Gaudette, how well, not that he would as a rookie, but he didn't complain about his minutes, about his deployment. He just worked his butt off, and I think you will see him gain Travis Green's confidence. You'll see him gain his own confidence, and I see him playing, like I said, especially as Sutter and Beagle come back. Right now, you need him as a center, but I think when Sutter and or Beagle come back, I could see Gaudette playing in a top 6, definitely top 9 winger role, maybe even top 6, and that would be cool to see him. Imagine seeing him on the opposite, of Besser, a line of, or maybe actually I really like a line of Horvat, Gaudette, and Virtanen, and then you got Goudette, Besser, and Pettersson. That would be pretty cool actually, because I think Gaudette and Virtanen played very well. We saw the chemistry last night. They both worked very hard. God, that glare is starting to annoy me a little bit. That's worse, right? Oh, that's better. Okay, so yeah, maybe that would be a top 6. Would be with no Berchi right now. Would be Horvat, Virtanen, Gaudette, and then Pettersson, Goudette, and Besser. No Eriksson, but we shall see. All right, a few more. Let's keep going. Thank you for the comments. I should probably just not say anything for the first 15 minutes because it takes a while for people to get going, but now we're going crazy, which is a good thing. That would require a veteran defenseman for Pittsburgh in return. The only tradable goalie we have is DeSmith. Thank you, Justin. I'm glad you know your Penguins so well. And the only defenseman we would trade, maybe we trade, would you take Edler for a late playoff run? Because as we know, Edler is going to be a free agent at the end of the season. A lot of talk. Will he waive his no-trade clause? Would he waive a no-trade clause to a team like Pittsburgh, a perennial playoff contender? Who knows? And would he then he come back and sign again with the Canucks? Or his agent seems to think that's not a slam dunk. Like, you never know. It sounds nice to say, oh, trade, get some assets, and then bring the guy back, and then it's a win-win situation. But you never know, will the Canucks actually bring Edler back, and would Edler want to come back? I think he would. It's more, would the Canucks want to bring him back? But that's for another video. We can talk about what the blue line's going to look like next year, especially with Quinn Hughes and Olli Juolevi coming up, both left-handed defensemen. And then you have Delzato, who's a lefty still. Sorry, Hutton, who's a lefty, and then Edler, who's a lefty. Well, Delzato is too, but I don't think he's in the Canucks' plans. It was all Markstrom's mask. Yeah, he went back to the ears. A little scary, but whatever. If it works, let's do it. Do you think they will trade Nilsson, bring up Demko near the trade deadline? Van, that's a good question. I really don't know what they're going to get for Nilsson. Unless Nilsson, they got to get him playing. Obviously, build up his trade value. They got to get him some wins. And then even with that, what do you get from him? For him, a second rounder, probably not, maybe a third or fourth rounder. I guess every little bit helps if you're going to lose them anyways, right? That's the theory behind trading away your pending UFAs. But yeah, I do think we'll see Demko near the end of the season. Cousin Vlogs, hello, Ryan. Why do you think Stetcher came out? A great question. Ryan, you're going to love this. I actually talked about that earlier too. I don't think it's injury. I think it was just a smaller player at the tail end of a 3-game road trip on a back-to-back, and wanted to get a switch in the defense and get Edler and Biega in. So I expect Stetcher to come back in the lineup unless Travis Green goes with no changes because of the win. But I fully expect to see Stetcher come back in. I haven't heard anything as to why he came out, or if there's anything bad behind it, or if there's even a story. So I'm not going to make it a story unless something comes out today or tomorrow. Is anyone as concerned about demos? That's probably Demko. No, I'm not concerned yet. I think the Canucks brass is still very high on him, but let's just get him playing and see how he does in Utica. Should Vancouver sign Mark Stone or Artemi from Columbus? You know, the Panarin one's interesting. Mark Stone, could be interesting. Well, I didn't know Mark Stone was a pending UFA as well. With any of these guys that are, you call them veterans, mid-tier, not mid-tier, they're good players, obviously. Both of them are very good players. Yeah, I see Benning signing guys. I don't see him trading for guys, because obviously you don't want to give up assets or prospects. But yeah, why not? The Canucks will have some cap room. They gotta re-sign Brock Besser to an extension, but there are a couple contracts coming off, including Edler's, if they don't re-sign him. So yeah, why not go after a forward, as long as it doesn't disrupt the chemistry, which it won't. And you can add pieces. I think the Canucks are done adding the smaller pieces. Like a lot of people didn't like their free agent signings of Roussel, Schaller, and Beagle. I'd say Roussel's been pretty good despite the biting incident. Schaller's been disappointing. Beagle, the jury's still out because he's barely played. But those are the 3 signings, obviously, from July 1 last year that not a lot of people were happy about because they were all bottom 6 kind of type signings. So yeah, I'd be interested to see if the Canucks go after a top 6 signing, a top line signing. And are the Canucks more attractive to come to now as a team as opposed to last season or 2 or 3 seasons ago, because there at least is hope there's hope in the future. Guys like Pettersson, Besser, Quinn Hughes, you never know. So I wouldn't mind seeing them go after someone, but obviously there are 30 other teams that will be going after those guys as well. Is anyone as concerned about Demko's concussion as I am? Shiv, I appreciate your concern. Let's see how he does, though. They took time, obviously, in him bringing him back. Concussion is different for every single player. We see that with Berchi and Pettersson. Pettersson could have probably played the week and a half after he got hurt. He played 2 weeks after. Berchi's been out already for 3 weeks, and it looks like he's nowhere close to coming back. Where would Quinn Hughes come in? I think Quinn Hughes will come in at the end of the season. I think, can you imagine? I've said this before. If the Canucks, let's just imagine, dream with me here, that the Canucks are battling for a playoff spot. Like they're right on the edge, battling for that last wild card spot. And then they bring Quinn Hughes up for the last 10 games of the season, and he helps propel them into a playoff spot. That would be amazing, actually. That would be really, really good. So maybe he gets the Besser and Gaudette treatment where his college season, I'm not wishing that his college season ends, but maybe he comes in at the end of the season and helps the Canucks out. That would be pretty cool. Yes, in April or late March or early April. Probably late March, actually, to get some games in, but we'll see. It depends on how far Michigan goes. Do you think Sam Gagner will be on the team when Sutter and Beagle are back? That's a great question, Idris. If Sam Gagner continues to play well, I think they would keep him. Remember, he's still under contract for next year as well, not just this year. I think he's got one more year left. So it would make sense for the Canucks to find his cap hit's okay, $3 million. It's not great. It's not brutal though. So I could see him sticking around even when Center Beagle come back because he is a winger. And let's say he is outperforming guys like Leipzig, maybe not Mott, but I can see Leipzig being, taken off, or maybe even Eriksson benched. Who knows? We shall see. But let's worry about that when it happens. Do I think Sam Gagner will be on the team? I do think he will still be on the team, especially if he continues to play well. Do you think the Canucks should trade Sven for Artemi Panarin? Alexander, I don't think Columbus would take that deal flat out. I think we wait and try and sign Panarin as a free agent if he gets that far. Louis, another one of my fellow YouTubers, Vegas Golden Knights coverage. How's it going, Clay? Everyone give Louis a follow. I asked you to give Justin a follow. Give Louis a follow as well. Subscribe to his videos. He's hilarious. He's out of Las Vegas. Obviously a big Vegas Golden Knights fan. And one thing, Justin's very good at following the entire league and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Louis, more Vegas-centric, but does some NHL stuff. And it also incorporates a lot of humor and music into his videos. He had me at music. In fact, yesterday he did a 45-second parody of that stupid Baby Shark song because the Golden Knights shut out the San Jose Sharks. I dressed the wrong goalie in my fantasy league. I'll get to that later. No, I won't get to that later because I'm upset about it. But check out Louis. Subscribe to him as well. So subscribe to both Justin and Louis on YouTube. They do some great work. Okay, we're going to wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. So let's see how we do in the next 10 minutes. Ryan, last 5 Lady Big winners. Oh, good. Thank you. William Karlsson last year. Johnny Gaudreau, Anze Kopitar, Yuri Hudler. Ryan, thanks for looking up. You've redeemed yourself, man. You can come into these chats as late as you want next time. Just watch the replay. But that's good to know. Karlsson, Gaudreau, Kopitar, and Hudler were the last 5 winners. Interesting. Pettersson does fit that kind of player a little bit in that, well, obviously sportsman-like, not a lot of penalties, not dirty, not a yapper, so to speak. So, yeah, I don't think he, like I said, I don't think he'll win it as a rookie, but I think he could win it down the road. Justin, why does it say Lewis? Is that the guy's, I don't know where that came from. Justin, you're going to have to tell me what Lewis means. Unless you're saying Louis, or Louis to Louis, Vegas Golden Knights coverage. Alexander, Canucks could trade for Artemi Panarin and trade him for picks if they can't keep him. No, Alexander, I don't think they should trade for Panarin because you're going to have to give up prospects or young players, and why do that when you can take a run at them as a free agent? So I simply don't see the Canucks in this state making any types of moves where they have to give up assets or prospects for a veteran player. You levy for Nylander. If you can get Toronto to do that, then go for it. But I don't think that's happening. Bottom 6 signings are perfect for rebuilding teams. It gets you some cheap veterans to establish in the locker room. Yeah, Justin, I agree with you completely. I actually didn't mind those signings of Beagle, Roussel, and Schaller when they happened. But I think because Schaller's been a disappointment, because Beagle's been injured, and there is a lot of money in there. There are $4 million each for Beagle and Roussel, $2 million for Schaller. So $10 million for 3 guys, of only which one has been impactful so far. I guess the jury's out. But yeah, I agree with you. You need to have bottom 6 leadership, bottom 6 experience. Absolutely. I think it's a bottom 6 experience. All right, a few more. If they're cheap, not $3 million plus for 3 years. Yeah, I guess you're talking about the veterans. Yeah, where we went 4 years, $4 million for Beagle at least. Thanks, Clay. You the man. No, Louis, you the man. But thank you. Remember when the Chicago sign was on in 1982. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'll let you explain that. Ryan O'Reilly went in 24. That's 5. I put 4. Yeah, I was wondering if some guy won twice. So you have Karlsson, Gaudreau, Hudler, Kopitar, and Ryan O'Reilly. All great players, all sportsmanlike players, obviously. Hard players to play against still. Just because you're sportsmanlike doesn't mean you're easy to play against. But thank you for looking at that, Ryan. I appreciate that. Shiv, keep up the great work. Your channel is awesome. Nice to have steady source of Canucks content. Shiv, I appreciate that. I don't do a lot of clickbait videos. I don't do a lot of speculative videos, except for my Bobrovsky one. But I try and do these videos as a true fan of the team for all 44 years of my life. Yes, I'm an old guy. I'm a season ticket holder, so I have that. I'm blessed to have that perspective. I'm in the arena 1 out of every 2 or 1 out of every 3 games and seeing things live. I have connections within the team, not massive connections, but a few connections within the team. So obviously, a big Canucks fan, stuck with them through the thick and thin. And yeah, I try and obviously I'm a founding member of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. Emphasis on positivity and not the good looking, obviously. But yeah, I do videos every day. And I try and make them consistent and just talk very honestly. Not that I know more than the next guy, but just speaking from my experience and my perspective, without speculating too much. But thank you for that, Shiv. I appreciate that. I should hire you as my hype person. And hi again. Do you think the Canucks got any shot at Nylander if they trade him? That's a good question. I haven't heard much here in Vancouver. I don't think any of us have heard much in Vancouver about, you know, going after Nylander as opposed to other teams that you hear in the mix, like the Carolinas of the world. Do they have a shot? I guess everyone has a shot depending on what they put in front of them, but what would Toronto want? Likely a defenseman maybe, as opposed to a young winger. So I don't know what we have that Toronto want. Maybe the Cristana boat has sailed, so we'll see. That's a really good question. It'll be something to watch over the next week as we come up to that December 1st deadline. We'd love to know what you guys think about where you think Nylander is going to end up. Last player to win it consecutive years. Ryan, still on the Lady Bing. Ryan, last player to win it in consecutive years was Datsuk. He won it for, 2006 to 2009. So that's 3 or 4 seasons. That's impressive. And Datsuk was a outstanding player. And it's funny that some people have actually compared Elias Pettersson to Pavel Datsuk. Okay, I see that's the end of questions. So I'm going to end it here from a standpoint. I'm going to talk very quickly about what's in front of the Canucks in the next few weeks. And then I'm going to tell my quick Pettersson versus Pettersson story, and we will end things up. And sorry for anyone waiting for Jacob. Sorry, he's working. He went from Mass straight to church. He went from church straight to work at the bowling alley. So no Jacob appearance today, but I'll make sure I get him in for a future visit. Okay. The Canucks have 10 of their next 13 games at home, so they can really make some hay in the standings. Yes, they're only a couple of points out of a playoff spot in the very weak Pacific Division, but they also have played more. It's weird, they do this every year. They've played more games than everyone in the league, but there's a bit of spacing in the next week. They're only playing 3 as opposed to 4 in the next week, and then but they're basically playing every other night. So I think maybe they'll have a bit of gap when the World Juniors come. At least they'll be away from home, so maybe that's where all the games in hand will be made up. But the Canucks have 10 out of the next 13 at home. They got the Kings on Tuesday, not going. Vegas on Thursday, M going. Saturday, Dallas, M going with Marie. Tuesday against Minnesota, not going. And then Thursday against Nashville, M going with my season ticket partner, Mike. So excited to go to 3 of the next 5 games. Then they're away for 3, and then they're home for Philly, Oilers, Tampa, St. Louis, and Winnipeg. So they got 10 out of the next 13, a chance to make good hay in the standings. Okay, last story. This was kind of cool. Some of you on Twitter know this already, or some of you have been following my videos. My cousin Dusty, my first cousin, so his dad and my dad, both deceased, God bless them, are brothers. So Dusty and I are first cousins. Dusty Emo was an all-star goalie growing up. He played for the New West Bruins, and Olaf Kozig, the longtime Washington Capitals goaltender, backed Dusty up. Dusty played ahead of Jamie McLennan in Lethbridge, the Lethbridge Hurricanes, but Dusty never got drafted. He bounced around a few minor league teams, never caught on the NHL, then actually went to play in Japan and was the starting goalie for Japan's national hockey team when they hosted the 1998 Winter Olympics. So that was really cool. So Dusty has been around the game all his life. His son Jonah has some minor league contracts. So hockey runs in the family, obviously. Dusty plays it, and I only talk about it. But Dusty has served as the goaltending development coach for the Winnipeg Jets. So he got to work with guys like Connor Hellebuyck and Michael Hutchinson, and now he's the goaltending coach for the Ontario Reign, which is the farm team of the Los Angeles Kings. So you guys might remember 2 years ago, there was a time where I believe it was Jonathan Quick and Jack Campbell and Jeff Zatkoff were all injured. So, or at least 2 of the 3 were. So that means Budaj was starting for the Kings. They signed, the Ontario Reign, the minor league team, signed Dusty's son Jonah to play starter. And then they signed Dusty as emergency backup. So there my cousin was, 46 years old, goaltending coach, sitting on the bench for the Ontario Reign 2 seasons ago. And that season made NHL.com, ESPN, TSN. It was a really, really cool story. Anyways, Dusty is now still involved in hockey, goaltending development coach for the LA Kings. So he works primarily with the Ontario Reign, and then Bill Ranford works with the LA Kings. So Ranford and my cousin Dusty work together a lot, obviously, with all the Kings goalies. Quick's hurt, and I guess Campbell's hurt. So that leaves Budaj and now Cal Pettersson. And Cal Pettersson is someone that Dusty's worked with extensively for the past few months. So it was really cool to see for Dusty to see Pettersson do well. And you guys know Pettersson, I think, shut out St. Louis, and he's played very well since coming to the LA Kings, to the big team. Anyways, last night, knowing that the Canucks were playing the Kings, I texted Dusty and I said, hey, and I kind of tongue-in-cheek, here's the scouting report on Elias Pettersson. I said, he's got a hard shot, a quick release, and he's really effective on the power play. Obviously, I was tongue-in-cheek. Everyone knows that. You don't need to be a Canucks fan to know all those things. And I'm sure Dusty knows that already. I'm sure Cal Peterson knew that already. And then Dusty wrote back quite funny. He goes, thanks, take away one T, take away one S, and change the O to an E, and then you have the name spelled correctly. Obviously, a play on words with our Pettersson to his Peterson. So that was kind of fun. And then he tweeted, so I tweeted that exchange out, and then the LA, and I basically said, oh, Dusty, he didn't appreciate my scouting report, ha ha ha. Then the LA Kings actually got into it saying, we love Dusty, or I like Dusty. And I said, of course, I agree, he's my cousin, except for that time that Dusty took out his goalie frustrations on me, put me in pads, we were playing street hockey, and he took slap shots at me from 10 feet away from me. I think he, like I said, used all these years of pent up frustration, just whacking me with slap shots. Anyways, so Pettersson got the best of Peterson last night. LA Kings even got in on it before the game saying, they said, Peterson, we know which one we'd rather take, or we know which one we'd rather have. And of course, I tweeted back at the end of last night saying, yes, and we know which one we'd rather have as well. So last night, in the battle of the number 40s, Pettersson versus Peterson, our guy got the best of their guy with the goal and assist with that wicked game-winning goal off the pass, the sweet pass from Deanne Phaneuf. Thank you, my friends. Thank you for spending some of your Sunday with me. I appreciate you very much. I appreciate all your loyalty to this channel. Give this video a like if you'd like to, just because it's kind of cool to see the thumbs up go up as I'm speaking, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. It's more important that you subscribe to this channel if you like what I'm doing. Most of you are here because you are subscribers already, but if you want to subscribe, I certainly wouldn't complain. So subscribe to the channel. I do Canucks videos every single morning before I get to work, upload them when I get to work, and it's content, it's reflections on watching games, being at games, whatever it may be. I appreciate you watching. So again, subscribe if you like to, like this video if you like to, enjoy the rest of your day. Canucks traveling home, and they got the LA Kings kicking off a 5-game homestand this Tuesday. Thanks again. Enjoy your Sunday, whatever you're doing. Maybe you're watching the Grey Cup, maybe you're watching some NFL. As for me, I'm gonna go check on my dog now, who is still passed out on the couch in a good way. And yes, Justin, in the battle of dog versus clay, once again, dog won. God bless, and go Canucks go.